Welcome. We've got some thrilling Arsenal news lined up for you, so stay tuned until the end to catch all the latest updates. And don't forget to leave 300 likes to keep us motivated in bringing you the latest Arsenal updates. Arteta raves about Merino after Slavia stroll, delighted to have him. Mikel Arteta couldn't hide his delight with Mikel Merino after the Spaniard's starring role at the Fortuna Stadium, where Arsenal cruised to a composed 3-0 win over Slavia Prague despite missing several key forwards. Bukayo Saka got the ball rolling with a first-half penalty, but it was Merino who stole the show after the break, netting a brace while filling in up top in place of the injured Viktor Gyökeres, a role he'd nailed towards the end of last season. Speaking post-match, Arteta waxed lyrical about Merino's versatility and impact, telling reporters, "I'm delighted to have him, I always say the same. It's his flexibility on the pitch, the things he can do, it's his mindset, his leadership, the way he is as a person. Today we were missing a lot of attacking players and we had to find different solutions. He steps up in the Champions League and scores 2 goals." Eyes now turn to Sunderland, where Merino's heroics have eased concerns ahead of a tricky tie. With Saka, Leandro Trossard, and the squad's depth shining through, the Gunners will lean on that resilience this weekend before injured stars return after the international break. Patrick Vieira speaks out to Arsenal about Mikel Arteta tipped to make 3 tweaks as Arsenal face Sunderland amid injury woes. Arsenal are bracing themselves for another stern test as they head up to the Stadium of Light to take on Sunderland this weekend. Sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League table, the Gunners are grappling with a proper injury crisis that's forcing Mikel Arteta to juggle his squad with kid gloves. Still, their smashing display in the Champions League against Slavia Prague shows this lot can hold their own even when the chips are down. On the trip to Prague, Arteta was without 8 first-team players due to knocks and bans. Yet the makeshift side he put out ran riot, bagging a 3-0 win without breaking sweat. That result not only keeps their European hopes alive but also gives the lads a proper lift heading into a packed domestic schedule. With no recognised senior striker to call upon, the forward line looks a bit threadbare on paper. Step forward Mikel Merino, though, who turned into an unlikely hero by netting a brace in the Czech capital. His shift as a false 9 highlights the tactical nous that's become Arteta's trademark, where a midfielder can slot up top and still do the business. Martin Zubimendi had a niggle similar to Viktor Gyökeres in the previous league outing, so he sat out the European tie after picking up a suspension. The Spaniard was back in full training before the squad jetted off, however, and is expected to be fit and raring to go for the northeast jaunt. Mikel Merino showed his class in Prague. He didn't just score 2 goals, he controlled the tempo of the game with vision and composure that was top draw, said Arsenal legend Patrick Vieira. Shuffles were made at the back as well. Piero Hincapié earned his first start at left-back, giving Riccardo Calafiori a well-earned breather. Ethan Nwaneri is likely to return to the bench after Eberechi was rested midweek. Arteta seems keen to strike a balance between rotation and keeping the side's rhythm intact. Young Miles Lewis-Skelly came off the bench in midweek and caught the eye, but Calafiori is odds-on to reclaim his spot come Saturday. The boss still has options like Christian Mosquera and Ben White in his locker, though the changes are expected to stop at 3 key spots to avoid disrupting the flow. The international break looms right after this one, which Arteta will have in the back of his mind. Once Sunderland are dealt with, Arsenal face a brutal run of Tottenham, Bayern Munich and Chelsea back-to-back. He can't shield his players from international duty, but is managing fatigue with clever tweaks rather than wholesale changes. Facing Sunderland carries a bit of extra spice, too. Former Arsenal midfielder Granit Xhaka is now skipper of the Black Cats, who are handily placed 4th in the table. Xhaka always fancies it against his old club, so Arteta will have a plan to nullify his influence in the engine room. On the stats front, Arsenal's backline is in imperious form. They're on course to make history with a 9th consecutive clean sheet if they can keep Sunderland at bay. That would be a testament to the rock-solid defence Arteta has built, even with key men sidelined more often than not. Arteta hails Arsenal star as absolutely different class after Prague romp. Mikel Arteta has singled out one Arsenal player for taking his game to a whole new dimension following their comfortable 3-0 win over Slavia Prague. It wasn't Viktor Gyökeres, and that proved no bother at all for the Gunners on Tuesday night as Arteta's side stretched their unbeaten run across all competitions to 13 matches on the bounce. With Arsenal carefully managing the fitness of their summer signing amid reports of a potential hamstring issue that could sideline the Swede until the North London derby, Arteta still found a way to cope without him. Mikel Merino was handed the false nine role, a throwback to the end of last season, and the Spaniard delivered in spades, bagging a brace in the Czech Republic shortly after Bukayo Saka had opened the scoring from a spot on the half-hour mark. It turned into a routine evening for the North London club in the end, with a much-changed Arsenal side putting in a polished shift as summer loan arrival Piero Hincapié made his first Champions League start. Hale End Academy graduate Ethan Nwaneri was given the nod by Arteta before the Arsenal boss introduced fellow teenagers Max Daumann and Andrea News in the second half, handing a clutch of homegrown talents a chance to shine on Europe's biggest stage. Merino has rightly grabbed most of the headlines after once again proving his worth as a stand-in striker, while Hincapié showed exactly why Arsenal brought him in on loan from Bayer Leverkusen. But according to Arteta, the player everyone should be talking about is none other than right-back Jurrien Timber. The Dutchman has been nothing short of sensational since returning from an ACL injury that wrecked his debut campaign, and is now become indispensable in Arteta's setup. Speaking to the press after the win in Prague, Arteta claimed Timber is now operating on a different level and setting the standard for his teammates. "Absolutely phenomenal," said Arteta. "For me, he's different class in every department. I think he's taken his level and the team's level to another dimension against his opponents. The way he breaks lines, the way he wins duels, the way he reads the game, the way he wants to make things happen. A proper example for the rest of the lads." Timber continues to show why he might be one of Arsenal's most underrated stars, and the feeling around N5 is that he's actually one of the best fullbacks in world football right now, according to journalist Graham Bailey. Timber has been outstanding for Arsenal. Despite missing his first season at the club, he's been so impressive in how he's bounced back and become a key part of their defence, said Bailey. Arsenal genuinely see him as one of the best in the world in his role. The 24-year-old is in line for a bumper new deal similar to the ones recently handed to Leandro Trossard and David Raya. According to WhoScored, Timber is actually Arsenal's third best performer in the Premier League this term, behind only Declan Rice and Gabriel, and no teammate makes more tackles per 90 in the top flight. Timber's form is the main reason Ben White hasn't had much of a look-in since returning to fitness, but Arteta won't be complaining as he boasts the strongest fullback department in England at the moment. Thanks for watching Arsenal Time. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Continue following the Gunners' journey with us, and see you in the next video. Come on, you Gunners!